It's funny to see Alex Jones get his comeuppance. Now, very often this doesn't happen because Jones always brings on guests he knows are going to agree with him, regardless. However, every so often, a guest come along who Jones thinks either A, is going to agree with him, or someone who he can bulldog. Now, in the case of someone like Jesse Ventura, who recently went on his show and literally made Alex Jones kowtow to him and made him agree to things that normally he would never agree on, miraculously, he's like, yes, Mr. Ventura, yes, Mr. Ventura, what do you think about this? Oh, I'm with you there, Mr. Ventura. And he's constantly just doing that. I mean, one of the funny things you can see throughout that interview is he's going, so Hillary was worse than Trump, right? So Hillary was worse than Trump, right? Hillary trying desperately to try and get a bone. And a lot of people are wondering, why didn't he do what he normally does and start arguing with him? Well, here's why. I've said in the past, and this is true, Jones is a slave to his audience. Back in the day, he hated David Icke. Absolutely hated him. But his audience loved him and started to listen to him. So he got to the point where he could no longer bash David Icke because his audience liked David Icke. You want another example? The birth certificate. Jones, to begin with, thought the birth certificate was ridiculous. Didn't believe it. But his audience did. So he did a complete 180 and for pretty much a week tried to averse any convince anyone that that's where he'd been since the beginning. And his position evolved from, no, it's ridiculous, there's nothing to it, to oh yes, I've changed my mind based on the evidence, to, oh, I always had concerns about it, to, yeah, it was fake all along. That's how his position literally evolved. And now you have, I highly encourage it, watch him talk to Jesse Ventura about the Electoral College. Now he's, I think, expecting Ventura to come on and agree with him, but Jones is a staunch constitutionalist libertarian who is one of these people who is like, you know, the Constitution can't be changed. It's like the Bible. It was written by some, you know, these gods. We cannot dare question their wisdom. So that's where Jones is coming from. And then Ventura comes out and just farts all over him. And he's like, well, just literally kowtows him into it, because he daren't speak out against Ventura, because Ventura in sort of the libertarian movement is such a big, you know, figure. You know, the only reason apparently Gary Johnson got the nomination was because Ventura gave him the rubber seal of approval. Now, here you have a perfect example of when Jones gets kowtowed, and it's hilarious to watch it when it happens, because he's trying to constantly turn, you know, the thing to get Ventura to agree with him, but everything he tries, Ventura's like, no, I don't agree with that, Alex. Here's why I don't agree with you. Here are the facts. Blah, 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 blah. And it's, he then do what he would normally do to a guest who disagrees with him, and you normally get, you know, out would come the Bulldog Jones of 1776 would come out, but that's not what happens. And so you have Jones literally acting like a kowtowed child to his older father, and you know, Daddy Ventura, to coin the name, comes out and just goes, well, young Jones, see here about my, you know, epic wisdom, you know, putting my invisible pipe in my mouth, which I don't have, but there you go. That's typical Alex Jones, and this is what I've been telling people what Jones is since I first started my channel, all about, originally about Jones's bullshit. Jones will do anything because he is, he is where the money is. He will go for whatever the popular bone is. And at the moment, he's a big Trump supporter. So he bought Jesse Ventura on to try and, get him to support Trump. But he didn't, because Ventura wouldn't commit to saying, Trump is a good president. And that's why throughout the interview, he kept on saying, well, he was, Hillary was the worst choice, right? So there you literally have, ladies and gentlemen, another example of Jones, the voice of the people, the alternative news source, but he's shit, basically.